Welcome to this video where I'm going to go through every single NFL team and I'm going to tell you who my favorite player is on that specific team. Listen, I'm not going to make this the most predictable list ever and just pick the best player on every single team. Granted, that will happen sometimes, but I do not think it will be very often. So go ahead and predict who you think I'm going to pick from your team in the comments beforehand and let me know if you got it right. While you are down there, go ahead and like the video if you are excited for this upcoming football season and also because it helps YouTube algorithm push my videos out. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start with the Buffalo Bills, and my favorite player on the Buffalo Bills is Dalton Kincaid. I'm not always going to pick people just because they went to the University of Utah, even though he did, and he was an absolute monster when he was there. I love that he gets to play in Buffalo and play with Josh Allen, and he has been really good so far, and I'm excited to see where his career goes. Up next, the Miami Dolphins, and we are going to actually have to pick their best player this time because we are going with Tyreek Hill. And this is just because he's one of the very few people literally on the planet that are as fast as he is, as shifty as he is, and as athletic as he is. He is one of the most exciting players in all of sports to watch, and I really do enjoy watching him play. Then we have the New England Patriots, and I don't really have a strong feeling towards any of the players on this team in particular, but I do love Josh Dobbs. Granted, he is right now their backup quarterback, but he's had a couple stints in the league where he comes in for a few stretches of games and honestly looks really good, and he just seems like a great guy. Maybe I will have to watch more Patriots games this year and see if anyone else comes to mind. Then on the New York Jets, we have Quinnen Williams. When I was watching Hard Knocks, I thought Quinnen Williams seemed like the dopest hang ever. He just seemed like a guy you want to be around. He seemed super funny and just seemed like he was there to have a good time, and then you get out on the field and he's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. I think he's an absolute stud. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens, and once again, we have to go with their best player, Lamar Jackson. Lamar plays the game in such a unique way, and seeing him break away with his ridiculous speed will never get old watching. Also, just throwing this in there, I know this is occasionally a hot take depending on who you talk to, but he is better than Michael Vick ever was. I actually don't think it's very close. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm going with T. Higgins. Obviously, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are elite, but there's something about me that just loves T. Higgins. I think he's a super humble guy. I think he's one of the most underrated receivers in the league. He could be the #1 guy on plenty of teams, but occasionally he can get overshadowed because he's playing alongside Jamar Chase. I'm excited that him and the Bengals were able to get that deal done, and I'm excited to watch this team this year. Then we have the Cleveland Browns, and my favorite player on the Browns is Greg Newsome II. Listen, Greg and I go way back in Madden, okay? I had Newsome in one of my Madden franchises. We do these franchises where each individual online player picks a team and you run through the season with that team. You can, pick a team that's already constructed, or you can do a fantasy draft. We did a fantasy draft in this scenario, okay? I had Greg Newsome on my team, and this man cooked for me all season. So I know this is not an on-field reason to love somebody, but there's just something about it that stuck with me with that Madden season. So I like Greg Newsome now. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, we are picking DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf is similar to Anthony Edwards in the fact that he has a tremendous amount of aura. I think he's one of the dopest players in the league. He's bigger, faster, and stronger than pretty much every other receiver in the NFL. I think the visor he wears on his helmet is so clean, and he's just really good at football. So he's really fun to watch. I really like DK. Then for the Houston Texans, we have Dalton Schultz. I remember Dalton Schultz getting drafted by the Cowboys, and he went to school near me. So to see him get drafted by my squad and then end up developing into the player that he is now, a bona fide starter in the NFL, it's just cool to see. And I'm happy that he's had the success that he's had. I'm sad he's not on the Cowboys anymore, but I'll always be wishing for his success. For the Indianapolis Colts, I am going with Anthony Richardson, which just feels wrong at this point. And I know this is weird because he's really struggling right now. He had a lot of accuracy issues last year. There was plenty of other things going on as well, such as tapping out of a football game, which is not the best look. But there's something satisfying about watching him play football, and when he's good, he's really good. And some of the throws that I've seen him make are electric, and for some reason, I'm just rooting for him. I think that he has all the pieces he needs to be a really good quarterback. I just hope that he can put them together. Then for the Jacksonville Jaguars, we are going with Devin Lloyd, and once again, I do have to credit this to his alma mater. Devin was absolutely insane in college and one of my favorite players to watch. To see him turn into the NFL player that he is now has been an absolute joy to watch, and I will always root for him. Then for the Tennessee Titans, we have Tony Pollard. There are not a lot of Titans players that I recognized on their roster that I have any sort of watching relationship with. I don't know a lot about many of them, but I obviously really enjoyed watching Tony Pollard on the Cowboys, and I'm happy that he's having success in Tennessee, so I will continue to root for him there. Then for the Broncos, we have Pat Surtain, and this is pretty obvious. He is one of the most exciting cornerbacks to watch. I think he's the best cornerback in the league. I don't know if that's really an argument right now. And this Broncos defense, it's kind of looking nice. The pieces they put together, this team If Bo Nix can continue to be the guy that he is, I mean, this is a tangent. This is not what we're talking about, but the Broncos defense, it looks like it might be even better. Then we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and there is only one correct answer for this team, and that is Gardner Minshew. Okay. What a weapon to have on your bench. One of the best backups we've had in the NFL. One of the most exciting backups to watch. I hope there's a few games this year where the Chiefs are up or down by a million points and we can see Gardner step in there and throw a couple bombs. What an upgrade, man. Going from Carson Wentz to Gardner Minshew, just the level of swag he brings over Carson Wentz is immeasurable. For the Las Vegas Raiders, we have Brock Bowers. He is just too exciting of a player right now to pass up mentioning him. He's legitimately already one of the best tight ends in the NFL, maybe the best, depending on who you talk to. And to see him have this much success this early, and now he's got Geno coming in and Pete Carroll coming in, and it looks like they might actually be putting together a real team. He's probably only going to get better. Then for the Los Angeles Chargers, we have Ladd McConkey. This man is, listen, he had a very heavy backpack on last season. He's listed at 6 foot. I don't know for sure, but this man literally carried the receiving core for the Los Angeles Chargers. He was a consistent target for Herbert last year, and you know Herbert loved this man because we had other people on the roster dropping balls left and right all season, and Ladd absolutely cooked. Then for the Dallas Cowboys, my Dallas Cowboys, we have, and I don't want to hear about it, we have Dak Prescott. Okay. I really don't care what you guys say, man. I'm still a Dak believer. Okay. Last time we saw him play a healthy season, he was an MVP candidate, and he gets a lot of slack for the playoff woes that he's had. But if we just be honest with ourselves, nobody's had real playoff success consistently other than Brady and Mahomes for the past literal 10 years. Your guy Herbert that everyone wants to get on their knees for, this man choked in the playoffs. Josh Allen can't beat the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson can't beat the Chiefs or the Bills, or maybe Mark Andrews, but either way, there's many good quarterbacks that we have in our top 10 that don't have playoff success under their belts. Okay. I get that that's a glaring weakness. It needs to improve. I'm not saying that, but just because he struggles in the playoffs, you guys act like he's just like a bum quarterback. He is legitimately talented. He was an MVP candidate. Okay. I talked for too long about the Cowboys, but even off the field, Dak also just seems like a great human being. Okay. I'm done. Then for the New York Giants, we have Malik Neighbors. I think it's so fitting that the Giants, that after, a few years after Odell's gone, now they have Malik Neighbors, who seems to be almost equally electrifying. Maybe not to that level yet, but he looks like he could be a real star. I'm excited to see what he can develop into. And now that they have Russell Wilson over there, if he can play somewhat decent, they might have an exciting offense. Then for the Philadelphia Eagles, first of all, listen, I can't stand this team and I hate to see them win, but something about Saquon Barkley I can't hate. I somehow am happy for him that they won a Super Bowl, and he's been really good for a really long time. So I just think I'm happy that he finally got this success, even if it's with the Eagles. Then we have the Washington Commanders, and this one has to be Jaden Daniels. This is really the only option. He completely flipped this franchise overnight. I truly am nervous being a Cowboys fan that we have to go against this guy for the next decade plus, but for some reason, again, I do like him. Like I was rooting for him last year. I never will against the boys, but we were at home for the playoffs, so I was excited for my boy Jaden Daniels. Then for the Chicago Bears, we have Jalen Johnson. Jalen is a great DB that I've also enjoyed watching him in college, and he's a staple of that Bears defense. The only bad moment I've seen of Jalen, that Devontae Adams goal line, that cook. For some reason now, I love watching Jalen, but I can't get that memory of Devontae just absolutely cooking him on the goal line. That being said, that's one bad moment in a career that's been very good to him. I think Jalen's a very good player. Absolutely love him. And that Bears defense is going to be good again. For the Detroit Lions, we have Jameson Williams. And Jameson Williams, not this Madden, but the previous one, I think was probably the greatest Madden player of all time. Not himself, but in the game of Madden, Jameson Williams, again, he's good this year. Last year, ungodly in the game of Madden. And honestly, in real life, he's just as electric. This guy can do nothing, and then all of a sudden he'll have 2 catches and 105 yards and a touchdown. It's so fun to watch him on that team. And that offense in general is just fun to watch with all the pieces that they have. Then we have the Green Bay Packers, and I did have a hard time with this one. I don't hate the Packers at all, but there isn't really a player on their team that I love. I'd probably have to say Josh Jacobs if I had to pick one. I do think it's cool that he's had this much success in his career, even after switching teams, and his career was kind of going down on the Raiders, and now he's back, all the way back. He's like the 3rd best running back in the league. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings, and I have to pick Justin Jefferson. This is the best wide receiver that we have in football, and he's done it his whole full career without an elite quarterback. This man has had Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold. I really hope that JJ McCarthy can step in and have a rookie season similar to CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels and see what this guy can do with a quarterback that good. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons, and we are going with Bijan Robinson. Watching him at Texas was incredible. His shiftiness is just at another level, and it's carried over to the NFL. One of my favorite moments in Bijan's career, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was a game, I think it was a London game, where the Falcons were playing the Jaguars, and Disney Plus like streamed it in Toy Story mode to get kids involved in watching the game. And he had this nasty juke move. And I remember just seeing it over and over again on Twitter in the animated edition of this juke where he broke this man's ankles. For some reason, I always think of that when I think of Bijan Robinson now. Then we have the Carolina Panthers, and I think that I'm going to have to go with Bryce Young on this one. I do think that he is a young, exciting player. I'm glad that he redeemed his season last year because it was looking like it was going to be pretty bad, but he did kind of have a come up. So hopefully he can carry that momentum and have a better season this year. Then for the New Orleans Saints, we're going to go with Taysom Hill. As someone who does not watch a lot of Saints games, it is always insane to me to all of a sudden have a Saints highlight just come across the screen, or I tune into a game randomly and Taysom Hill's playing like 7 different positions and somehow scoring a touchdown. I think it's also really cool that he was pretty much told, like, listen, you're not going to play quarterback in this league. And he has found a way to make himself useful in so many other ways. I mean, he's quite literally just labeled right now as like a football player. I think his official position is tight end, but he is just a football player. He does so many different things. And the fact that he's able to make a career this long and make this much money, pretty much positionless, is just really cool to see. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I have to go with Baker Mayfield. This one's a tie. It's between Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. I couldn't pick. I'm just so happy for Baker. I'm so glad that he has revived his career and it just didn't go to waste in Cleveland. I think it's so cool that this team is having success, and I'm obviously happy for him. And then Mike Evans is just, this guy's just a bona fide stud. Consistent, one of the most, probably the most consistent receiver we've had in a very, very, very long time. Then for the Arizona Cardinals, we have Calais Campbell. Now this might seem random, but this man is 38 years old, still playing, still starting in the NFL, and he's not a quarterback. That is absolutely legendary. Then for the Los Angeles Rams, it is hard not to pick Puka. I don't think anybody expected him to have a breakout career like this, so it has been very exciting to see how much better he gets each and every game. Cooper Kupp's gone. He's officially wide receiver 1. Actually, now they have Devontae Adams, so this is going to be interesting. But I just love watching him play, and I just find myself rooting for him. It's going to be interesting to see him with Devontae out there. Then for the San Francisco 49ers, we have Trent Williams. This is one of the greatest, if not the greatest left tackle of all time. He's a Hall of Famer. He's an absolute staple of that offensive line. And frankly, I don't have a lot of, good memories with the Niners. We've had a lot of trauma in the playoffs against them recently, so I'm not like the biggest fan of the Niners right now, but I can't hate Trent Williams. Then on the Seattle Seahawks, we have DeMarcus Lawrence. Now I know that DeMarcus Lawrence recently, he said some things about the Cowboys and he departed from the Cowboys, but he had a few years there where, legitimately elite on the team. And I really, really liked watching him. And even though he isn't that fond of the team anymore, or at least of Dallas, I am happy for him, and I hope that he has success over in Seattle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. If you liked the video, please like the video. Also, if you are interested in why I love and or hate your NFL team or your NBA team, go check out our channels. I have posted those videos pretty recently. Again, I genuinely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.